It is the year 2024, and I am here to talk about Jeffree Star drama. Either this is a sign of the end times or the earth is healing. I don't know which one, but it's definitely one of those. What's crack? It's VangelinaSkov, and today we are talking about Jeffree Star, of all things, because he was on the cancelled podcast with Tana and Brooke. Whatever her last name is, I've forgotten. It begins with an S. And people were not happy about it. There was a lot of things that he talked about in this podcast, a lot of things to do with dramageddon, with Trisha Paytas, with Kat Von D, with James Charles, with so much stuff. And on top of that, even after the podcast, Jeffree was talking about stuff that happened there and the backlash that he was getting and stuff like that. So there's a lot to go over. And I thought we would watch some of it together. I'm just realizing I missed an opportunity to start this video with, "Hi, how are you?" But it doesn't really work with my voice or my accent. So I guess I shouldn't have even said this whole segment at all. Let's move on.
Yes, people may think that we've had drama maybe because we haven't seen each other in a while. People do get confused. No one knows the real truth about any of the past. I had to live it, so sadly I remember it all. But me and her never.
You have great memory. You never forget, and I love that because I'm so the opposite. I'll call you and just be like, "Wait, what happened again? Like, whose drama?"
Photographic memory.
Just remember this piece of information. That's all.
But we haven't seen each other probably in like 10, 11 months. Yeah, we saw each other at my birthday last year, and then he became a father. He has twins.
Wait, how old are they? Have you met the twins?
Not yet.
Oh.
That is so
I know,
crazy.
because I thought he was going to stay in Colorado, and I was like, baby, I'm about to be, great aunt Jeffree Lynn. And then he moved to LA to raise the kids here, and I haven't seen him in a couple months. So
because of all the drama that went down surrounding the people at this time, Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, Trisha Paytas, right? These were all a group of people, and there were so many fallings out. People are always assuming that there is a falling out between Jeffree and Shane. And I don't see that happening, to be perfectly honest with you. And also, people are taking this as confirmation that there's a falling out because Jeffree says they haven't seen each other in 10, 11 months. I hate to be the one to break this to you, but for some friendships, that's really normal, especially when one party is new parents. And at this point, I don't know if they fall out. Does anybody really care? Unless it's documented for our enjoyment, does anybody really care? Oh, I feel so nostalgic sitting here talking about these people. We're back to the golden days of drama. So joking. So joking. Don't cancel me. Or do. Whatever.
it was all so crazy. And I think when the pandemic happened, remember that old lady, Tati?
Jeffree didn't talk about this way later in the podcast. He's saying we're the same age or whatever, but come on. I feel like I can't add any more clever commentary than that. What was the point of this comment? And I mean, I think even I said it at the time in this drama, Tati's she's a grown woman, why is she acting like this? But bear in mind, I think I was 22 when I said that or something. I don't know what age I am anymore, but my point being, it's people are getting in drama. Yes, it's embarrassing if you get in unnecessary drama, but the surrounding stuff that happened around dramageddon. Let me start that sentence again. The stuff that happened surrounding dramageddon was actually, the core issue was quite serious. And we're going to get into more of the dramageddon stuff with this podcast because they go into it and they talk about some stuff and some behind the scenes stuff. And the birthday dinner, that was the most interesting part for me of this podcast. But the root of the issue was actually quite serious because it was about James Charles and his behavior, right? And as we know now, in the current year of 2024, about to be 2025, James himself has admitted to some creepy stuff, messaging teenagers and stuff. And then there's a lot of stuff that's alleged, but it feels plausible that James Charles has been a creep. Allegedly. Check out the allegedly merch. But so it's maybe not the cringe drama we were all making it out to be at the time. I'm including myself in that, I was making light of it as well. But the core of it was that they were trying to expose somebody that they were saying was a predator, and that is more serious, and it doesn't feel like, oh, why are you getting involved with this? You're so old or whatever. Like, because at that point it's like it's about a serious topic. It does not matter what age you are. Yes, the way people went about it at this time was embarrassing, particularly given your age. But at the same time, I could have just ended this whole rant with Jeffree and Tati are the same age, so I'm gonna shut up and move on. Before we move on with anything else though, I want to tell you about Fume, who are sponsoring today's video. Have you heard that the flavored air category is really quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? This is a new movement towards better habits, and it is led by today's sponsor, Fume. Fume is a flavored air device that is perfect for anyone that is trying to break away from any bad habits they might have, or if they just want something enjoyable to use. It's nicotine-free, non-toxic, and completely guilt-free. And Fume is not a vape. It has no vapor, no batteries, no weird chemicals, nothing like that. Instead, they use their flavored cores, which are completely non-toxic and have some really delicious flavors. So whatever kind of flavors you like, I'm sure you can find something that suits you. Some of my favorites are the crisp mint and the orange vanilla flavors. Now, if you're used to vapor, you might find that Fume is a lot more subtle than what you're used to, but it also won't leave you in a hospital bed, so that's pretty good, I would say. And honestly, I prefer these flavors anyway, because if you were to compare vaping to like a sweet sticky drink, then Fume would be more like a herbal tea or a flavored water, which would always be my preference. Science shows that going cold turkey on a bad habit is actually quite hard on your brain, but Fume works by replacing that hand-to-mouth fixation with something a lot less dangerous. It can calm your nervous system by fidgeting with the device, or it can distract your brain with the really delicious flavors. This holiday season, you can give the gift of better habits with Fume. Head to tryfume.com/VangelinaSkov and use code VangelinaSkov to get a free Fume topper when you order a journey pack. It's a perfect addition to make your gift even more special. And if you're lucky, you could even win one of Fume's limited edition gold-plated devices this holiday season. Once again, head to tryfume.com/VangelinaSkov or scan the QR code on screen to grab yours now and make someone's holiday unforgettable. Thank you so much to Fume for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on with the rest of it.
Remember that old lady, Tati? Remember her? She uploaded a second video, which is now about to, be 5 years old. And I don't...
After Bye Sister. Bye Sister is such a diabolical title too. Like, imagine really typing that and hitting publish.
It's a really wild journey, and I think a lot of people just know a lot of like half truths, and I think we lived it, so we really know the behind the scenes. And there's so many things that people don't need to know that happened before. It's all, to me, I don't want to say it's irrelevant because so many people still talk about it. It's really wild.
And if there is so much behind the scenes stuff, right? Like, I want to know about it. I want to know what happened. I want to know that behind the scenes stuff. I want to hear the full story, because how can any of us ever make an informed opinion about this whole thing without the full story? And there's so many people who could come out together on different sides of it, tell us their view, and together we could piece together. Like, imagine a day when we get a conclusion, a proper conclusion to Dramageddon. My God. We might just have to delete YouTube at that point. Like, there'd be no more point to any of this.
Right. It was a cultural, like,
it was,
I remember where
culture,
I was. It was like,
YouTube era made it on CNN, 50 million views on every. It was just, it was the craziest thing. YouTube,
and everyone who loved it felt like it was.
YouTube loved it. They loved pushing out toxicity. They loved making money off of everyone's misery. They did. The old 100%. CEO at the time really pandered to a lot of that evil energy in the darkness.
Susan?
Yeah, rest in peace.
Did she die?
She did, yeah. It was probably from her James Charles karma.
Okay, right. This is so disrespectful. Like, I'm all for taking the piss out of people. Like, I think we should all be a lot less serious. But the joke being made here is that Susan Wojcicki, the ex-CEO of YouTube, died because of her karma for the James Charles drama stuff, right? Susan Wojcicki died quite young, recently, of cancer. I Call me a spoilsport. I just feel like maybe we shouldn't be making jokes about that. Maybe we shouldn't be making light of that. Like, you don't have to pretend that you liked somebody just because they've passed on, but you also don't have to make jokes like that about them. Like, about them dying because of drama when it was actually cancer. That, for me, is the worst part of this whole thing. And I haven't seen people talking about this comment, really. Like, not too much anyway. People are more focusing on the drama aspect, which obviously there's more to be said on that because there's more comments being made on that. But I just think that that's diabolical, to use Tana's own words. Diabolical. Also, I just remembered that years ago, Jeffree Star was talking about how he trained himself not to move his face muscles so that he wouldn't age. And I just, I need him to come here and I need him to teach me how to stop moving my forehead because you can't see it on camera because of the big light in my face, but I am getting really bad lines here and I have been trying to put off Botox for as long as humanly possible. But if I keep moving my forehead so much in videos when I speak and when I do anything, I'm gonna have to get it pretty soon and I don't wanna because I'm scared. I'm scared of that.
But anyway, so
carry the 4, subtract the 2.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of things that people don't know that I had to really just suffer through behind the scenes.
Tell me them.
He's handing out free palettes.
Yes, buy a palette, get a palette free, and it's only for that 5-hour moment, one time a week. You gotta fucking be there, or you're not gonna get it. And there's a lot of people that don't even watch my TikToks, don't know we do deals. So it's a niche market, but it's massive.
I changed my mind. This is the worst part of the podcast because I tell you why. It's niche. It's niche. I keep hearing people say niche. I'm pretty sure I was walking. I'm pretty sure I was watching an iNabber video the other day and even he said niche. I might be confusing this with somebody else, but if that was him, then shame on you. It's niche. This is like such a pet peeve of mine, hearing people say niche. Niche, like the lich? No, niche. Like a quiche. Cancelled just for that one thing because you can't say niche. And now it's going to turn out that I'm wrong. Imagine.
I don't get called a panhandler because I'm a real business and I show people how to make money on the app and it's really great. You can really make a really good income, right? My friend's mom cooks all day and she makes money just cooking. And instead of working, as an insurance agent, she now makes way more money, 5 times the amount per month. People are watching her cook and gifting and engaging with her, and her chat really loves her, and people really engage and they come view you every day. I probably go live 4 or 5 times a week. People look forward to it. It's entertaining. What do I do on live? I'll make bacon in the morning and make $50,000.
I mean, you're so...
Every day that I'm on the internet, I'm reminded that I am definitely doing something wrong because everybody's rich. I'm not rich. I want to be rich. I want to buy a house. It doesn't have to be cash. I would just like to at least be able to afford the deposit for a mortgage. He makes the deposit. Jeffree's making the deposit for a mortgage in one TikTok live. And What do I have to do? Jeffree, along with teaching me how to stop moving my facial muscles, can you please teach me how to get rich on TikTok? And then in return, I'm going to teach all of you guys, and then we can all get rich on TikTok. I'm not even really on TikTok, because last few times I tried to be consistent on TikTok, my views actually got less. Maybe I'm just not likable. This is not about me. This is about Jeffree. Let's get back to Jeffree. Sorry, I'm making this all about me, guys, on my channel. How dare I? Somebody's going to complain about it. I know.
And I think the government may not want us to learn all of those things.
Making everybody
Because you can type it in. Here's a want to get really fucking wacky? People don't like this at all. All you got to do is search, have we ever been to the moon? Why is that such a hot topic?
Yeah.
Of course we fucking haven't.
I know. I agree. I don't think we've ever been to the moon. Can I say that?
Of course you
say
can.
that.
Anyone with common sense could tell all that
I don't think we've ever been to the moon. Who the fuck was just fighting me on this?
So here we go.
This is the bit I keep seeing people talk about with this podcast, is the I don't think we landed on the moon thing, which is funny because this is obviously a conversation that I've had with people, like people have these conversations in real life. It's just funny to see this group of people have this conversation. For clarity, right? Let me be so clear. I do think that we landed on the moon.
Do you think the moon landing was fake?
No.
We're picking up some deception here.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Do you think the moon landing is fake?
No, not till now. Not till Stephanie put that in me.
I am not suggesting that we didn't do that. I mean, I have a song from a million years ago called "The Moon is Hollow, but we definitely landed on it." So, you know, from the get-go, I've been a moon landing truther. And people are like, so there's this whole conversation around conspiracy theories, right? And a lot of it like stems from the Shane Dawson videos that he does. He just put out another big conspiracy theory video, which I watched. I was going to make a video about it, but like, I didn't know what else to say beyond, I disagree with you, dude. But there's like a whole conversation around conspiracy theories being like dangerous. And I just can't really wrap my head around it because I've always just thought of them more as like silly fun. Like obviously there's some conspiracy theories that are dangerous, right? But I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about stuff like moon landing faked. Like if somebody says the moon landing is fake, like who cares? In my opinion, maybe I'm being dangerous and ignorant. Like you can, I don't have to tell you, you can tell me in the comments. People are about to be shouting at me in the comments. But like, what is the big deal with saying this stuff? Like for a long period of time, I fully believed that the moon was hollow. I'm still not convinced that it's not, but like, so what? Who's damaged by a theory like that? Like, it's just stupid and silly. There's no real inherent danger to it. And like, I get with stuff like when people are like, oh, the earth is flat because everybody is lying to you and they're gonna turn your bones into sugar or something. But you know, you just make fun of the crazy people and then we move on. We point and laugh and we don't take it so seriously. I just miss when we didn't take things so seriously. I just think everything's a big joke, to be honest with you. Not everything, obviously. Oh, well, we're on the topic of people getting mad at me, by the way. I'm going to move back to Jeffree in a second. I just wanted to address something really quickly, which is that in my last video that I recorded, there might be another video going up. I don't want to talk about that now. But in my last video that I recorded, I made like a throwaway comment or something. I was talking about like how, you know, as humans, like the baseline level of humanity is, well, we don't want other humans to die. And then I went, oh wait, Israel, actually. And people got mad about that and people were like, I was really disappointed to hear you say this, like, this is blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into the politics of this now and I'm not going to read out any of the comments, but essentially I want to be very clear about something, which is that I do not support the Israeli government's genocide on Palestine. That is not something that I will ever support. You will not convince me to support that by twisting the truth to fit your own narrative. It is a genocide. People are being murdered. It's horrific and disgusting. And I will not listen to some random YouTube comment telling me I'm wrong just because I hurt their feelings. People are dying. I'm not worried about hurting your feelings. Sorry. And with that being said, let's get back to the very unserious business of Jeffree Star.
I think what was bizarre is me and Shane, and I've never even said this on camera before, we were busy filming the conspiracy documentary. We were filming for 10, 11 months how to create a product, our lives, all the newness of my life, my love life, my dogs, my exponential growth of my channel. The fact that anyone believed that we were bored to try to ruin someone's life on the side when we're living our dreams, our financial dreams, the viewers were so crazy. It was the biggest, most exciting thing me and him have ever done career-wise and the most successful. I couldn't believe I woke up and people believed I'm the villain for the 100th time. I couldn't believe it.
So the thing with this is, and this is all referring to like Tati's video coming out saying that Shane and Jeffree manipulated her into making her bi-sister video, and it kind of exonerated James in a way, and James was like loved for a while. And I actually do have some opinions on this that may be controversial. This whole video is just me being controversial, apparently. Why are you screaming at me? JavaScript's been screaming at me to let her in the room, so she's in here now. The problem though with like him saying they were busy with their documentary and like nobody's gonna believe that they were working on anything behind the scenes is that James Charles did show some screenshots which seem to be confirming that Jeffree and Shane were filming interviews with alleged victims of James Charles, which would have meant, if true, that they were in fact filming stuff about James behind the scenes. So if Jeffree is lying here, I'm not sure why, because we'll get into my controversial opinion, which is that if they were filming stuff about James behind the scenes, so, like, James himself, as we all know at this point, has admitted to texting 16-year-olds. And we're going to get into like stuff that happened at the birthday dinner, finally more details. But there was some shady stuff about James Charles' behavior, and there was probably more than we even know. This is all alleged. Everything I'm saying is alleged. But like, there was some creepy behavior. And if they had evidence, or at least an inkling, that somebody in their ranks was a creep, why is it a problem that they were going to make a video exposing that? That's what I don't understand. That's why I don't get what people are mad about there. Because if they were planning on making a video, so what?
I think she's one of the worst people I've ever met, so I'm not trying to say anything for her.
I don't know if I've ever met her.
But it was more than the gummies. I think when you're telling a stranger, if you were to tell a stranger the story, the gummies seem to be like people's catalyst of like, this was the root.
When in reality, it was very anecdotal.
It was way more than that. And we were all spending a lot of time together. We learned a lot of things about, it was just a lot of things. Yeah. And me and Tati traveled with James, and we really saw
and you did it at my birthday dinner.
Yes.
Which is pretty close to the claims that Tati was making in her original Bye Sister video, which is why I'm saying, if Jeffree and Shane were making a video about this, then so what? And it also brings into question, and people are not going to like me saying this, well, why did Tati then take it back? Just because she didn't have backup from Jeffree and Shane? But if she was telling the truth originally, you should stick to that. Either she was, I can't believe I'm talking about dramageddon in 2024. It's just the first time I've thought about this in ages, but either she was telling the truth in that first video and then took it back just because she couldn't handle the heat, I guess, which is fucked up, or she lied in that first video about James, which is also fucked up. So neither of these options make Tati look good. And I know everybody likes Tati. They want to defend her. I think she's shady, but I also think all of these people are shady. All of these people are shady. Like, it's just the fact of the matter, in my opinion. Allegedly.
Were you at the birthday dinner?
Yeah, I was sat right next to him. I was here. James was there.
What happened from funny, Jeffree Lynn's eyes?
It's a crazy meme of this because of her. No one ever heard my version. They just they saw Tati's video. The birthday dinner.
What actually happened at the infamous
It was the height
dinner?
of... It was her birthday, so it was like her friends and family and a lot of normal people. Not YouTubers, not people with a lot of money. And to me, it was that height of James's new fame, new money, going batshit crazy and not knowing how to handle it all, and it turned him into a monster. Or he already was that, and the money amplified it. And he really thought, I have money, you're gonna sleep with me. It was very disgusting. Doesn't matter who you were, you want him. You hear that creak? That's
the silence is loud.
And that shit happens so often
weeks
in Hollywood.
of buildup of the ego getting so dark and crazy, and just so many weird things and stories coming out to us and really bizarre things. And the dinner was him at his most disgusting. And there was a 19-year-old waiter who he tricked into his room later that night. And the guy said he wanted to leave. And James was like, I paid for this. Yeah, you have to hook up with me. I bought the room.
And if true, that is like really, truly fucked. And like, personally, I would believe it just from the stuff that has come out allegedly about James Charles and the stuff he himself has admitted to. Like, this seems like something I feel he would do. And this is what I'm saying. And this is what I can't understand. Why, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but why would it be such a big deal that behind the scenes Shane and Jeffree wanted to expose that? Now, the fact that they didn't, if they were planning to, is kind of weird. And it also just doesn't make Tati look good that she took everything back and then was like friends with him, I guess, again, and then everybody loved James again, me included. right? Me included. I started watching his videos at that time, I think, when people liked him again. Might be getting my timelines wrong, but I feel like I did.
But everyone just makes it about sucking in the memes and her stupid ass video. But it was really, as someone that was there, and I'm all about shock value. I'm fucking crazy. It was just disgusting to witness.
Because it's one thing to say something
and
shocking
there's,
for the bit.
Tati's family there, and we all know we're shocking and we can say whatever we want. But when you're at that environment, you don't say crazy. It was all just too much, and it just bubbled up crazy, and we all flew home just horrified by this person, disgusted.
Holy fuck.
And I think she really felt like in her heart that exposing him as a alleged predator and all these things was going to teach him a lesson and remove him from the platform.
Which makes it so much worse that she then backtracked just because she was getting some hate, probably.
And we're over here like, we just launched the biggest makeup collection in makeup history. The most palettes sold in 1 hour, in one day, me and Shane Dawson. What? Two dudes?
Yeah, really beautiful that there's men and women's spaces.
I took a few weeks off and was like, wait, what did I do?
Yeah.
I'm not a bad person. I didn't try to take down James Charles. I haven't talked to Tati in months. He weaseled his way back in, got her to make a video about us to try to get back at us.
Oh, you think he was behind video 2?
Yeah, that's what she's told people. Yeah, that he manipulated her. These people are so twisted.
So what I'm understanding is, if we're taking everything being said at face value, that Tati is always claiming to be manipulated by someone. She's either being manipulated by Jeffree, by Shane, or she's being manipulated by James Charles, which I think is just really immature. Like, take responsibility for your own actions at some point. Like, yes, you can be manipulated by people, but if you're constantly being manipulated by people, maybe you should self-reflect. Maybe you should start learning to have your own opinions, to not listen to other people, like to do your own thing, or at least to take responsibility for the things that you've done and said. And I know people aren't going to be happy with me like saying this about Tati. It feels like she's a little bit untouchable, but I don't think she's trustworthy, and I think that's okay. Like, I'm not saying she's the devil from the Bible, but I don't think she's trustworthy. None of these people are trustworthy.
But yeah, we haven't seen each other in a long time. I think a lot of her new fans think I'm the devil. Love that. But the OG fans that watched both of us knew that at the heart of it all, there was really no drama. It was just a lot of speculation and other people chiming in, and just a lot of ugliness. But we had the best times together.
When I watched this bit originally, it kind of made me do a double take. I was like, am I misremembering this whole situation? Because there was a lot of drama between Jeffree and Trisha, right? They had been friends for so long, and then all of a sudden Trisha is saying that Jeffree's a bully, that he made fun of her for not having as much money, that they were calling her fat and body shaming her, that she was scared of Jeffree Star. And now we're hearing that there was no drama, that there was no drama at the heart of it all. And like I said, Jeffree did actually talk about this episode of the Cancelled podcast on a TikTok live, and he was saying like, oh, people were misunderstanding, like what I was saying was like, it was mostly about other people, like the hairdresser and blah blah blah, like there was never any big fight between me and Trisha. And okay, maybe they didn't have a fight, but Trisha definitely said she was scared of you. And she definitely did make claims about you being a mean girl and a bully and stuff. So, like, there definitely was some drama. I don't know why we're trying to rewrite history here. I feel like I'm being gaslit by Jeffree Star, of all people. Oh, wait, and there's also one clip, drama related, that I wanted to throw in here.
It was actually one of the first real big drama moments I had in my career, because someone who is never in drama came out and tried to disparage and ruin my career and say a bunch of lies. It was crazy.
And someone you loved so much.
Yes. Best friend of 12 years, went on camera all weirded out, and made a weird, salacious video about me.
I don't actually have a comment for that. I just haven't heard the name Kat Von D mentioned in so long. Like, the last time I heard about her is when people were saying that she's now, like, really conservative Christian and anti-vaxxer and stuff, and I just thought it was funny. So just thought I'd throw that in. How are you, Kat Von D? Used to like LA Ink, and when you're on Miami Ink. It was a long time ago.
You know what I want to ask you about? Actually, I think Jeffree would be a really good person to ask about this. We've been talking about it a bunch lately. Tunnels under Hollywood.
Okay.
Do you believe in them? Do you think they exist? Have you been to them?
They are real.
Really?
I knew I would
Now
get...
I'm just pissed I'm not invited.
Nobody's
even thought to tell me about it.
Keep going.
Well, there's so many different tunnels because the old days, I mean, really, we built our city on top of a city that kind of already existed. So there's just a lot under there.
And do you think celebrities really use them? Do you think people really use them?
Yes.
And you think it's the 1%? Like, you think it's just like the... Like,
it's definitely the 1%. And the problem is I've been invited to these scenarios and I've felt like the sickest, most lead, cancerous feeling ever, and I've never gone down those routes.
We're back to the conspiracy theories. See, okay, well, for one, there is tunnels under LA. Like, that's a fact. That's not a conspiracy theory. The conspiracy here is that they're using them, like the 1% is using them for, I don't know, evil meetings, evil get-togethers or whatever. But my question, right, is like, why... like, maybe it is happening, right? Like, obviously celebrities are evil or whatever, and rich people are evil. But like, why tunnels? Could they not meet up in a building somewhere? Like, how difficult would that be to pull off? How much easier is it to hide and have a secret meeting in a tunnel? Rather than, and like, it's the theory that they all have ladders in their houses or something, and then what happens when like some rich YouTuber, right, buys an old celebrity's house? What happens to the tunnel? Because there's not a video on YouTube, well, there probably is, but I haven't seen a video on YouTube of a YouTuber moving into a new house and being like, I found a secret ladder in my house that leads to a tunnel, and then they go down and there's just some like crazy Illuminati party. Well... The whole thing doesn't make sense to me. I just think these horrible people are meeting in houses. But you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. I was never invited. I don't know that Jeffree was either, but I want to know what the invitation said. Like, dear Jeffree, please meet us at the tunnel. Like when they had I went to a day trip in Paris. If you follow me on social media, you will have seen that. Follow me on social media, VangelinaSkov everywhere. But I went for a day trip to Paris with some friends, and we went to the catacombs. And the guy was like talking about how they used to have like secret concerts in the catacombs, which is so funny. And they would like invite them there and be like, yes, meet at the catacombs. We're gonna be playing Dance Macabre. So I'm imagining it like this, but like everybody's wearing cloaks or something. Which, by the way, my friend Megan, she has a podcast, that is not what it's called. Anyway, her podcast, it's a very good podcast, you should listen to it, but she has an episode talking about the catacombs and our trip there and stuff, so check it out. I'll put a link in the description.
So same with like Illuminati stuff, I'm sure you're going to say the same thing. It's real, you've seen it, but you didn't want to take a part in it. There was a while where people really thought you were Illuminati. Honestly, I was people.
I'm still not sure.
We may still hang out sometimes.
Who is we? Which is this we? Is the Illuminati like one person? Oh my god, it is. Oh my god, the Illuminati is Illuminati. Why am I pronouncing Illuminati like Illuminati? This is Illuminati Blair, the Illuminati, her. It's her fault that I can't speak. But why is he saying it like it's him and just some dude in a red cloak and they're just having tea? Like, we still hang out sometimes. Isn't this supposed to be a whole group? I'm so confused. And I love the idea that like, he's just friends. He's just like not even close friends, just kind of like acquaintances that you might see for coffee sometimes with the Illuminati. It's fantastic. It's like a fan fiction almost. One of the best bits we get to, though, in this podcast is towards the end when he's talking about his plans for the future. The future of Jeffree Star.
Well, she asked what's next. I am 90% done with an autobiography. Don't know when it's coming out.
I can't wait.
Someone a really famous writer wrote it with me, and they interviewed me for almost 2 years, and it's just really insane. Okay. So a book of being in my mom's stomach till right before Wyoming. Like my entire life up until Wyoming is the book. It's insane. It's very inspirational. It's very dark. And shockingly, even though I showed so much on my YouTube channel, every surgery, every crazy secret, every whatever, I still have a lot of secrets and things from my past and childhood.
That's literally where I'm at.
That I'm ready to share.
Yep.
Not to like, oh, it's spicy to make some money. No,
I relate to this so hard.
Yes. And there's a lot of dark things and things I went through that I have never told anyone, and things that happened to my family. And I just feel like it's going to inspire a lot of people to see what I've created from the dirt.
The worst part is, right, is that this would be so interesting to read. Like, love or hate Jeffree Star, you can despise the man, but his biography would genuinely be so interesting, and you can guarantee I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read it for this channel. And you know that I will. You know that I will. But also, like, I think I've told the story like a billion times on YouTube, but I was like an OG Jeffree Star fan, like back when he was doing music, like the MySpace era, stuff like that. Massive Jeffree Star fan. I didn't know that he was doing makeup stuff on YouTube till ages later. Like, I used to sit on the bus on the way to school listening to Jeffree Star's music. Like, I was a proper fan. I remember being like, oh dear, like 12 or 13, like singing Lollipop Luxury with my friend, my best friend, and like making her listen to all his music. So like, I was a proper Jeffree Star fan, and then didn't know about the makeup stuff, found out later. But like, the stuff from before is kind of crazy, and I would like to hear it. I really would like to hear it. But like, is that bad to say? Am I not supposed to admit that? I feel like I'm beyond just saying whatever I feel like people want me to say. Like, I do think it's interesting, right? Biographies are interesting. Why do I feel like I need to justify this? But yeah, let me know in the comments. You want me to do a video about that? It's not out yet, but I'll do it.
Second, on a whole other tinge, is like, I have been teaching makeup for so long. I think before I get any older, I should start teaching how to suck dick.
I've always said that about you.
I could use some help.
You've actually always given me like, even just back in the day, you were like, girl, listen.
And that, Bonnie Blue, is education, not whatever the hell you're doing. Let me know in the comments though what you thought about this whole thing. I'd love to know. I just thought it was a bit of a mess. There's a lot of inconsistencies, and like Jeffree, like I said, did go on a TikTok live to talk about this because there was a lot of backlash, and Tana and Brooke were getting a lot of backlash for having him on the podcast. People are really mad about it because he's so controversial, but I think we need to remember here that this is Tana Mojo. She is also extremely controversial. It's called a cancelled podcast. Like, come on now. This made perfect sense to me. Where did the T in perfect go? I don't know. It's perfect now. And he also, like, one thing I wanted to point out is that people were saying that he was interrupting Tana and stuff all the time, which, you know, it's not like I'm trying to be here defending everything that Jeffree Star has ever done or said, but Tana Mojo interrupts everybody. She can't help it. She can't help herself. And I get it as an ADHD girly myself. Like, it is really hard to not. I feel like I've maybe trained myself to a degree where like I'll leave too big of a gap in conversations. But she interrupts everybody. She was interrupting him. That's not the point of it. And I also get why they would have him on. Like, obviously he said some stuff that doesn't really add up. I don't know if we'll get any more clarity on that, but that's where we're at. Follow me on social media, VangelinaSkov everywhere. Subscribe, please subscribe. That helps out a lot. Jeffree Star, if you're watching, if you could just give me like one round of that 50 grand that you're making in a TikTok live so that I can apply for a mortgage, that would be fantastic. Would appreciate you. Thank you so much. If anybody else watching is a millionaire and wants to give me some money, go for it. I won't give you anything in return. But you know, what is money? Can't take it to the grave, can you? Don't forget to check out Fume. You can go to tryfume.com/VangelinaSkov or use the QR code on screen and use code VangelinaSkov to get a free Fume topper when you order your journey pack today. Like, comment, share, do all the things that I'm supposed to ask you to do at the end of a video, and have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. I will see you in the next one. Bye!